Welcome into the Sports Stove Tailgate Show. We are live at Mad Mushroom Pizza across from the campus of EKU. Parking lot's under some work right now, so if you come out for the show, make sure you park up on the upper lot or out towards the bank parking lot and walk on in. If you come in for the show, you get 10% off your order today. Mad Mushroom. You can order online, madmushroom.com. Use the code SPORTS5 when you order. You get $5 off your order of $20 or more. So welcome into the show, and today we've got a packed show with some great guests, and joining me to start off is head basketball coach A.W. Hamilton. And Coach, welcome to the show again. First time live that we've been able to be in the same room together. We've had you on the show several times, but it's always through the little computer. So welcome.
I like this better than the Zoom and the computer or my phone in the airport. You know, this is great. So I love the setup. I've watched all your shows. It's been really cool. This is a great place. They got awesome pizza.
Yes.
So, but you've done a phenomenal job, and I think everybody at Eastern, we appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Coach. I appreciate it. I've enjoyed covering the teams, and the university's been so good to me, giving me access to players and coaches, and you've been great as well. I've gotten to watch several of your practices this offseason, and it's been fun watching this team. It's a drastically different team from last year. Not that last year's team wasn't talented. This team has an energy about it. We were just talking about an energy about it that just it seems special.
Yeah. Well, we got 9 new guys, and we're a young group. Now we've got some older guys. We got 5 guys back. You know, you look at us. We got Tay Blanton. We got Michael Marino, Cooper Robb, who've been the cornerstone of the program for the last few years. They're back. But then we got a bunch of just young guys. Look, everybody, you got to win the transfer portal. That's important for us. But we didn't want to just win the transfer portal. We signed some young guys.
Mm-hmm.
So we got 5 freshmen. We've got 3 electric freshman guards. You know, you can look at Leland Walker, Tayshawn Comer, Turner Buttry. Those guys are exciting. They're energy givers. They got a lot of life to them. So that's been really fun as we've gone through this process of practice.
Last year you had injury issues, which you can't help that. And a lot of your injuries came to some of your bigger guys. This year, your depth with your bigs seems to be deeper than what you had last year.
It is, you know, and we had to improve in that area. You know, you look at us last year. I don't want to talk about last year too much, but you know, we take a chance on Ivan Bennett. We had to.
Mm-hmm.
We did Jansen Williams. You know, that was, you know, he was a great college basketball player. He got hurt, but we had to add more depth and length at that spot. You know, we got Isaiah Cozart.
Mm-hmm.
We got Darden Capiti. Everybody knows where Coz was.
Yeah.
You know, Coz told me today he's so happy to finally be back home. He said he wished he would have came here in the beginning, but I'm not going to say any school name. And then we got Darden Capiti from FAU. So we were able to win in the transfer portal with those 2 guys. As both of them got experience. They're older guys. They got big frames on them. Both of them are strong. You know, Darden's 6'10", 230 pounds. Isaiah's about 6'8", but Isaiah's about 255 pounds. Isaiah's a very strong kid. He's very physical in the post. Those guys, you won't be able to switch every ball screen. That's what teams were able to do for us last year, and they kind of got us out of rhythm. They won't be able to do that this year with how physical those guys are. And then we got Michael Wardy back.
Yeah.
You know, so we love our depth so much. We're probably going to redshirt our freshman, Big Dave, because, you know, I don't want to burn a year. I want him to develop and be ready to play down the road. So I'm excited about the crop of bigs we got.
That's the one thing I was talking with. I call them the old timers. I hope they don't take offense to that. But in practice, some of the guys that hang out at the practice and things like that.
I call them that too. So it's okay.
Okay. And we were just talking, and I said, you know what? With the depth they have this year, you know, not everybody's going to be able to play. I mean, there's only one ball on the court. You only got so much time in the game and stuff like that. I know you like competition, and your guys, it seems like you've got tons of competition on this team.
We do, and it's at every position on our team. We got 14 guys who can really play, you know, and, you know, you look at our point guard position, we've got 3 really good point guards. All 3 are freshmen. And then we've got Tay Blanton, who's, you know, in the best shape of his life. He's growing and maturing. He's been in our program for 2 years. He can also play the position. So, and every position we got like that, you know, Deshaun Jackson is taking the jump. He's pushing Cooper Robb. And, you know, what you have, Vince, is you got 40 minutes at each spot. And it seems so easy to plug these people in and, you know, our guys in and play. And then you start playing in the game. It's like, well, that guy, I think he might be able to play 28 minutes today. So, but it's good. And then we got a group that they're hungry and they're excited, and we got great chemistry.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that is because, when we brought in 5 freshmen, all those freshmen are on campus. All our older guys are off campus, and we're kind of all together instead of being so spread out.
You talked about Michael Wardy. He's beefed up more this year as well. He's one of those guys. He's not massive, but he plays big. And last year, as the season went on, he got more opportunity, and he seemed to take advantage of that opportunity. I mean, we know about the guys like Cooper and Moreno and those kind of guys. They're going to be there. Michael seemed like that guy that kind of picked up time as he went throughout the season.
He did. I was really proud of him because we had to throw him in the fire.
Mm-hmm.
And that started when we played at West Virginia. We were struggling in that game. We kind of got a big lead on them early, and then they came roaring back, and we weren't getting a lot of production. We had Jansen in foul trouble, so we throw Wardy in, and kind of the rest was history. He did a really good job throughout the season for us, and I love Wardy. What I told Wardy last year, I said, okay, listen, it's dunks or layups. That's what you get, so you got to attack the offensive glass. He did that. And then in the offseason, we expanded his game some. He's facing up a lot more. And Wardy's really good in the mid post because he's a willing passer. And guys like Cooper Robb, Tay Blanton, those guys are great cutters. So, he's gonna do some different things for us this year, which will be exciting for him, and it's exciting for our team.
Cooper, he's a guy, last year we talked about it as well. He can shoot the ball. He just tends to pass more than he tends to shoot. His percentage is decent. I talked with Michael Moreno about this as well. Like, hey, do you ever tell Cooper shoot the ball more? I know you like unselfish players. Do you ever tell him shoot the ball more? Or are you happy? I mean, he's a smart kid, so he's a smart man. He's doing what he does.
Cooper had a great season. What happened to Cooper is he tore his labrum, with nine games to go. And he had a hard time getting into his shot. His shot prep was different. It was pretty much every game. Our trainer, Jeff Carrico, who's its birthday today. We love Jeff. We had to pop his shoulder back in place. He was having a hard time with his shot prep, but he continued. He finished out the season. But Cooper's done a really good job. He's become a much better offensive player since he's got to Eastern Kentucky. Cooper's probably the toughest kid I've ever coached. And, I'm going to enjoy this season. This is last season with us. And, he's one guy. I miss all my guys, but that one's going to hurt a little bit more.
I was talking with somebody last night about your team and talking about the amount of relatively local kids you got, or Kentucky kids. We'll call them that way because some of them moved to Bowling Green and then came back. But when you're looking at recruiting and stuff like that, how important is the state of Kentucky to you in your recruiting classes?
Well, it's important because we want to be the cool school. We want to be the cool program. We want people to be excited about Eastern. And, what Matt Roan's done, we got the renovation happening. We got all these things that have happened on campus. We got a lot of momentum to recruit our state. Look, so we get Turner Butcher. He's the first incoming Mr. Basketball we've had since 1980. That's when I was born.
I'll say I wasn't alive yet. So
that's a really big deal. And the things that we're doing, the things that Matt's doing, Dr. McFadden, they're helping so much in making us so attractive for Kentucky high school. Because when I got here, I said, listen, we want to recruit our state. Yeah. But we want to get the best players in our state. And so, we're doing that. We're on some really good high school players right now. I'm not allowed to say their names, but we're on some really good ones. You'll see that on, social media. So we're excited about continuing to do that.
Last year, Michael Wardy was the high flyer. You've added some high flyers this year. We were talking before we came on the air. This is an entertaining team. I think it's going to be a really entertaining team. Talk about the athleticism on this team that you have.
Well, we're a lot more athletic. We're faster. We're quicker. We're longer. This team probably fits better than any team I've had, maybe except one, of the style of play that we want to play. We had to change a lot last year. You look at our first 3 years here, we're top 5 in the country in tempo. We were able to get out and transition. The year that we were really, really good, we were number 1 in the country in tempo. Last year, we dipped all the way to like 27. We had to slow it up a little bit. We had to play a little more methodical. This team can really get out and go. But I love how good we can be defensively. We go to the Bahamas. I really didn't know what to expect because we got so many young guys. But I loved how we rebounded. I love how many, we always want to get 50 deflections in a game. I mean, we're getting like 60, 65, 70 deflections. I mean, this team is just active. And we rebounded. We really rebounded on the offensive end. I mean, we have a secret close scrimmage. I don't know the rules on me talking about that, but as long as I don't say a name, I think I'm okay. Yeah, my boss is right there. So, we have 20 offensive rebounds. And it's like, we go to the Bahamas, we play 2 games, we really crash the offensive glass. We talk about we want to become a relentless, fearless team. Well, when we teach the guys, they say, okay, I say that, but I got to show them what that looks like, right? So I pull out clips of Houston because Kelvin Sampson's team is the best offensive rebounding team in the country. They're the best. I mean, those dudes, you talk about crashing and going, defeating box outs, that's what they do. And so we show them that, and they've really taken on that. And every time we've played, we're all over that offensive glass. So, we got to continue on that. And if we do, it really helps us.
Yeah, 100%. And this team is, again, coming in. You got season starting up pretty soon. You've got scrimmages going on, different things happening. I know you're going to grow as the season goes on and all the classic coach cliches, but how close are you to being there where you want to be?
You know how it is, Coach. We had a shoot around this morning. It wasn't very good.
Yeah.
We're not ready to do a game day shoot around yet, but I love these guys. What we talk about with our team is our thing is being able to win the weight. Everybody wants to win on November 7th. Who's going to do the things to prepare themselves every single day to when you get to November 7th, you're ready to win that game. You're prepared to win that game. Everybody wants to play in March Madness, but who can go through this journey and this process of becoming a championship level team? Who can do that? Who's mentally and physically tough enough to do that by winning the weight? And that's what we talk about. Look, there's 358 teams. Most teams are going to be average. That's what they're going to be. There's going to be 68 that make the NCAA tournament. Those are going to be championship level teams. We want to stand with champions. So we have a chance at the end to put ourselves in position to play in the NCAA tournament.
And to do that, you got to win some out-of-conference games. You scheduled a really easy out-of-conference schedule this year.
My AD loves it.
Yeah, so it's a fun schedule. It really is. I grew up in Tennessee. I never knew Tennessee had a men's basketball team until I was like a teenager. All I talked about was women's basketball and football, so I didn't even know they existed. But they've been really good as of late. You're going to travel down to Knoxville and see them this year. You're going to see some other really good teams. So what's the goal of that non-conference schedule?
Well, any goal, you got to get ready for league play, we got to put ourselves in position when we get into ASUN play. We're clicking on all cylinders. Look, we play Western Kentucky. They're picked to win the Conference USA. We go down to Georgia State. We play over there. They just won their league last year. While we're there, we're going to play UNC Asheville. They're picked to win their league. We're going to play Northern Kentucky. They're picked to win their league. We're going to play at James Madison. They're picked to win their league. We're going to play UNCG. They seem to be in the NCAA tournament a lot. We play Radford at home, who beat us last year, who, we get a shot at them again this year. So we play a tough schedule. We play Cincinnati. They got a pretty good team.
Yeah.
And Tennessee's a top 3 team in the country. So it's going to be a challenging non-conference schedule. But that's part of recruiting too. We got to line up. We got to line up and play the best teams we can play. These kids that we recruit, they want to play against the best competition. That's what they're used to doing. Like you look at Tayshawn Comer, he's been on the Nike circuit. He's been going to Peach Jam. He's played against the best of the best. He wants to come here and play against the best of the best. If we can't get another 4-star recruit, if I tell him, hey, we're not going to play anybody, Leland Walker wouldn't have come here.
Yeah.
I got to tell Leland we're going to play the best schedule we can play for you. Just don't leave. Don't get in the transfer portal. So he's not going to do whatever.
There you go. Breaking news. Coach, thank you for your time. I know you're busy today, and I appreciate you coming on. Always appreciate your time. And big season coming up, November 7th. Is the initial thing. You guys got several things going on before November 7th, so encourage everybody to come out, be a part of it, support the team, enjoy this last year of the old Alumni Coliseum, and it's about to get spiffy here pretty soon.
It's amazing what's designed for this arena, but wait till you see it, and you've probably already seen it, but it's amazing. But look, our season's coming up. Wear maroon. When you come in AC, wear maroon. you'll see big signs all over the place. We want everybody to wear maroon. It's our last year in Alumni Coliseum as we know it, and we got to honor Alumni Coliseum, all the players that have played there, all our great fans. So let's wear maroon.
We'll do it. Coach A.W. Hamilton, thanks again, man. Really appreciate it. All right, reminder, we're live at Mad Mushroom Pizza. You come by anytime during the show, be a part of the program. Our regular show is presented by Mad Mushroom Pizza, serving Colonel since 2016, right across the street from EKU's campus. Come in anytime, have a seat, enjoy pizza and drinks, and get you ready for game day. We'll be back every home football weekend. We'll be here live for the show and working on some other things for down the road as well. We are only 3 hours away from kickoff here for today's game. We'll get to football here in just a moment, but we're going to go ahead and bring in our next guest at this time is Athletic Director Matt Roan. Matt, you've been on the show a couple times. Always appreciate your time, and thanks for joining us today.
I appreciate you having me, and it's always good to see you. I was hoping AW told me they were going to play some music, so I was waiting for this kind of big grand intro.
The intro music, yeah. Next time. See you guys. Matt, a lot of stuff going on around campus. Homecoming weekend, stuff going on all weekend, and kind of culminating on Saturday with football and everything going on post-football and things like that. It's been a fun start to the year, I would say. We're almost halfway through the semester, maybe already halfway through the semester. How you liking this year so far?
Well, first off, you talk about homecoming weekend, and obviously it was a busy week for us. Yesterday kind of kicked off events with the signature events that our Alumni and Development Office has. How about downtown last night? I don't know if you had the chance to see that, but the Family Dog being opened back up and the block party that happened there was just a lot of fun. But for us, in terms of football, kind of at that midway point, 6 games in with 5 to go and 5 important games to go.
Yeah.
A 3-3 football team right now that I think is better than a 3-3 football team, but every goal is still in front of that team, and we can still win a conference championship. We can still get into the postseason. Really optimistic about where we are. I think we're a much improved team. I think we've gotten a little bit better every year that Coach Wells has been here, and hopefully we'll put it on display today at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, tough loss last week. Very reminiscent of that Indiana State game last year. I've talked with a couple of the players throughout this week and Coach Wells after the game, and I know that's a tough one to overcome, but they seem to do a good job under Coach Wells of being able to get past those games, good or bad. Get past those games and move on to the next one. North Alabama comes in, they're 1-5, but they've been tight in several of their games, and they're a high-scoring team as well. This is the second year in the ASUN and the ASUN WAC Challenge, so we've seen these guys, but we've got new teams in and all that kind of stuff too. So how is that as an athletic director? How is that constant flowingness of the ASUN/ASUN WAC Challenge? How's that been for you?
Well, I'll say to your original point, I think Coach Wells has done a great job. I was talking to him yesterday, and we were out at soccer together, and we were watching our team play yesterday afternoon. And he comes over and he does a great job of supporting our different teams. And, whether we don't talk a lot about Sam Houston, because now it's all the time and all the attention is dedicated to North Al, and they certainly deserve our attention. You talk about it being a 1-5 football team, but they've had some good games. They've had some close games, so they do a lot of things really well. It's for us, having the second year of the I know there's been some kind of interest in how that is and how that evolves, but we're really, really happy with the fact that we can bring of our 6 opponents, 5 of them this year have never been inside of Roy Kidd Stadium.
Wow.
So, that causes us to even think about how we operate, where, usually when the visiting team buses arrive, they know how to get to the locker room. And we're having to adjust and say, no, we have to have somebody there, a liaison, to make sure they understand how to get into the stadium and how to access the field, know those sorts of things. But I think it's been a great thing for us. Quality opponents, and I'm part of the country that we want to play. And when we travel, we're excited about where we are right now.
You're talking about quality opponents. Last year, when we got down to the time for the playoffs, that was kind of a knock on EKU, just how the strength of schedule and those kinds of things, trying to get that playoff spot. Obviously, the best way is just to win the conference. So when working on that schedule, working on those opponents, you talked about areas of the country you want to play in. Obviously, that helps with recruiting and things like that as well. This year went to Eastern Michigan and took them down to the end there, went to Bowling Green and got the win, and those kinds of things. So when you're working on these schedules, these non-conference schedules and the things going on, especially in the way that the ASUN currently sits, How do you work that?
Well, I'll kind of go back. I've got a fortunate, I guess, perspective or space, having served time on the playoff committee.
Yeah.
And so I understand how those conversations go with respect to who you play and quality win versus quality loss, and how your regional advisory committee ranks you, and kind of what goes into that, what the coaches think of you, what the SRS, which is a simple rating system that is not simple at all, and kind of what all goes into that. And last year, we did finish 7-4, but the reality is that any probably is out. Wins against an Austin Peay, a Jacksonville State, a Central Arkansas, that in any other year are seen as quality wins. They had a little bit of a down year, and so you just didn't get that bump. And so really that's what ultimately kept us out. But as we turn the page, and we're always looking for ways, just like Coach Hamilton talked about with his non-conference portion of his schedule, our guys want to come here and they want to play the best. And so for us, the move to the ASUN was about improving our football competition, our all-sport competition, how we schedule in the non-conference, about giving us the best chance to be successful and to position ourselves for a conference championship and postseason opportunities. And so I think when you look at us right now, we're 3-3, but we're 2-1 against the FCS with an FBS win. We're not going to be punished for a close loss at Eastern Michigan. We're not going to be punished for a close loss at home against Sam Houston State. We still have one more opportunity to go on the road and play a school in Jacksonville State that's operating with about 11 or 12 more scholarships right now in their first year of FBS transition. So for us, we're evaluated on 7 in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And so we just got to make sure that we take care of business there. And we've got some tough competition coming up. There's no doubt about that.
I'll try to ask this in a way that you can answer. So I reached out to Ted Gumbert this past week. I wrote.
By the way, that article was fair. It was good. I appreciated you writing that.
Well, thank you. Thank you for reading it. I reached out to him because I had talked to him back when they announced that EKU was joining the ASUN. We had him on the show, had a great conversation with him. Of course, he's retiring and stepping away, but I wanted to kind of see where his view was on the vision that he had and where it's been. The ASUN right now is down 4 teams. So basically they either have to add to or merge with somebody or continue these kind of what we're doing with the ASUN WAC or leave the ASUN. That's kind of the option now. It's hard to leave in 1 year, but the goal has been, from everybody I talked to, you can deny it if you want to, I guess you would know better than anybody. Everybody that I've talked to from a couple years ago even was the ultimate goal for EKU is to continue to move forward.
Yep.
And Ted Gumbert told me he saw the ASUN as a stepping stone for schools to be able to do that. So has the timeline ever changed with what's going on in the ASUN?
I think when we set out to build this thing, and really conversations started happening, I guess, in the fall of 2020, and then we announced in the winter of 2021, I think January or February, right around that time frame. Golly, it seems so long ago. But for us, again, when you look at Central Arkansas, who had been in the postseason, our tradition of success, Austin Peay had just been in the quarterfinals of the FCS playoffs. Kennesaw had been a top 10 team getting seeds.
Yep.
Jacksonville State had played for a national championship not too long ago. We really felt like at that time we were building the best FCS conference in America.
Yeah.
And I think what has happened, and well, let me go back, and we were building the best FCS conference in schools who aspired to be great, who wanted to invest in their athletics departments, who wanted to associate with one another, and wanted to compete. And what has happened since that time is that 2 of those schools have been invited to join Conference USA, and I think that speaks to, hey, we chose the right company.
Right.
There's no doubt about that. For us, as we built this league, kind of grew the membership of the ASUN at large, and then specifically built ASUN football. I don't think anybody has been shy. Myself, my counterpart at UCA, Dr. Brad Teague, several of us have talked about, hey, we want to compete at the very highest level of football.
Yeah.
And because what that does for our alumni base, what that does for our institution, what that does for our community. And so, right now, are we a little disappointed that those 2 schools have left? Sure, because you want to build it with them, but we've never stopped looking at options. the great thing about our commissioner is we've never stopped having conversations with him about what we aspire to do and what we aspire to be. And again, that's to compete at the very highest level. And the great thing about him is that he knows that ambition from day one. He knows what it is that we want to do, what our vision is. And we're looking at options to build it together. And certainly we'll entertain conversations that, outside of the league, and we have those open, honest conversations with him every step of the way as well.
Yeah. Do you want to take an opportunity to throw any shade at Western Kentucky? I'm just kidding. I won't even make you answer that. No, there's a lot of things going on. Everybody thinks they know things, and not everybody does. But I know it's a fun conversation to have, especially for guys like me who talk about sports and always looking for content. It's a fun conversation because you look at those things, and I know years back there was an opportunity to move up and it didn't do it, and then kind of now there's a little bit of a waiting game, but conference realignment is crazy. I mean, the SEC just added Texas and Oklahoma. I mean, it's a weird thing.
And there's a lot that you can't control.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I have to constantly remind myself is, hey, control the controllables, and that is hiring and retaining outstanding head coaches and staff. That is investing in our programs. That's our facilities. Doing a lot of the things that, whatever comes our way, we're competitive where we are. We'll be competitive where we want to be. But one of the things you talk about in conference realignment that I think is kind of lost sometimes, the ASUN Challenge for us has been a bright spot. I think if you talk to our coaches in football, it's been a bright spot, and it's certainly not unique. The OVC, the league that we left, is partnered with the Big South right now. The Missouri Valley Football Conference is a collection of schools from the Missouri Valley Conference, from the Horizon League, from the Summit League. The CAA is a collection of schools from the A10, from the Colonial Athletic Association, from I think the America East. And so at the FCS level, you do see a lot more partnerships because not everybody competes in the sport of football. But for us, we feel like right now we made the right move. Everything is continuing to move along. We're continuing to grow. We're continuing to invest, and EKU is going to be okay. No doubt about that.
And I'll tell you, I've talked with a lot of assistant coaches this year. We did a football preview episodes where we previewed all the position groups. We brought the position coaches on, and I asked them, I think all of them, about, hey, how do you feel the university has done with supporting you guys specifically? And all of them glowing responses, and even off the air, same thing. So they weren't just saying it on the air and then changing their mind when they got off the air. The university is doing a great job of these staffs, and we're seeing these staffs grow, and we're seeing when guys leave and our girls leave, then new people stepping in, and it's always quality. But let me get back to, I know you're on a tight time frame today. Back to the university real quick. Alumni, you got the pictures out now of what it's going to look like. It's exciting. I think change is exciting. Yeah. I was trying to figure out where I was going to be sitting in the basketball games. I didn't see my spot there, but no,
we took those seats out.
Right? Yeah. But it's looking good. It's exciting to see what's ahead. I know it's going to be a big process. There are going to be teams that are going to have to play elsewhere. We talked about that last time you were on the show. Offices that are going to be affected, all that kind of stuff. So I know there's a lot of things going to be happening pretty soon. But how excited are you, and how pleased are you with how that's coming along?
I think we're obviously really happy. When I got here, my first day was February 1st of 2020. The then board chair, our president, President Patton, really challenged me and my team to say, hey, kind of dream up what we think Alumni Coliseum can be, should be. There have been some kind of smaller concepts about maybe creating some concourse and things of that nature. So we kind of really went to work with a consultant that came in and came up with these concepts that were shown. And certainly we want to make sure there's several guiding principles in it, but that our teams have the best chance to be successful. And so Coach Todd, I know, is coming on here in just a moment. We wanted to make sure that his athletes that he was taking training into a lot of that they have player lounges, they have team meeting spaces, these places and spaces that they can improve every single day. But usually it's people who have been there for 60 years, sitting in the same hard wooden seats that they've sat in for 60 years. But making sure that we're making those improvements so they have comfortable seats with more leg room, better sight lines, premium spaces where if you want to kind of associate with a group of 15 people, you can sit in a suite. If you want to associate with 300 plus people, you can have access to a club, and doing some of the things, taking the things that are really, really great about it, from the roof all the way to the floor ceiling seating, and making those things better with some of the things that have kind of run the course of their lives.
Sure.
Making sure that we're improving those. But, Alumni Coliseum is a big one. It is more than just a basketball and a volleyball facility.
Right.
It's the home of our athletics department, but it's where we have orientation. It's where we host commencement exercises. So there's a lot of multi-purpose function spaces. We want to do even more. We want to have concerts. We want to have, things that bring people in, because we think if we can get them in, they come back and they watch AW and they watch Coach Todd. And so we could not be more excited about that, but we hope that AC, and we plan for AC just to be one of the many projects that we're going to do over the next several years.
I'll close with this. We've watched Walt Wells and what he's doing with the football program and growing it and everything that he's doing. We've watched AW do what he's doing with basketball. We've watched Coach Todd do what he's doing. But the girls, I'm telling you, I had so much fun last year watching girls basketball. And I was always so, not mad, mad's the wrong word, frustrated. I was like, man, we just need more people to come to these games because these girls it's so much fun to watch. Then you've got all the volleyball's improving. Soccer's been great. Track and field's been incredible. All these other things going on, baseball, softball, all these things happening. Just as an athletic director, I just got an athletic director position myself, but a very, very small high school program. And I just kind of look now, I'm looking at it now, what can we do to bring this excitement that EKU has brought over the last couple of years, especially? It seems like we're bringing back the history of what the program once was, and you've got to be just ecstatic about that.
No, we are. For us, again, I get to serve and work with 12 head coaches with a lot of support staff that surround them, and obviously their assistants as well. And, I want to be able to look at every single one of them and say, we're investing in your program to allow you to be successful. It's not enough just to say, hey, we're taking, cutting, but you still need to go out and win. No, it doesn't work that way. For us, our expectations have to match the level of investment. And to me, that's probably in the most simple terms how, if I'm going to be successful in my job, that's where it's going to result from. But it's more than just investing in how we travel, how we recruit. It's how we market. For us, we've been very, very deliberate in 2 words that we use inside of our department every day. It's how we engage and then the experience that you have. Those are 2 things to focus on. So I think that our team, non-sport specific teams, Alex is here with us, but I think we are communicating probably better than we ever have. And then I hope that when people come into the venues, they see that we're celebrating that tradition of success, but also trying to throw some kind of modern flair to it as well, and making sure that we're evolving with the times and that we're doing things here in Richmond, Kentucky on EKU's campus that you would see at any other program around the country. We want to make it even better.
Well, I've got a million more questions for you, but we're on a time frame today, so we'll let you go. I really do appreciate you coming and chatting with me, and the time that you've given me, the time that your university, the sports department have given me for this show, letting the athletes come on, the coaches come on, has been just a real encouragement. And so thank you and appreciate you.
No, thank you. I appreciate everything that you do to highlight, again, the people that make up the department. And we're in the people business just like you are, and we're in the storytelling business. And so what you do, the sacrifices that you make, the time that you put in, the research, all those sorts of things, we are really appreciative and indebted to you for everything that you do for EKU Athletics.
Well, thank you very much. Matt Roan, Athletic Director at EKU. Big homecoming weekend.
Sounds good.
Yes, sir. All right, we'll continue on and go ahead and bring on our next guest. We'll roll right through. We've made these people walk far today. The parking lot at Mad Mushroom's being redone, so they've had to park and walk and putting in the steps today. But joining us now is women's head basketball coach Greg Todd. Coach, how you doing?
Great. Thanks. We just got a little practice and getting ready for a big week ahead. It's that time of year.
Yeah, and I'm sure your team's already at peak performance and ready to go, right?
Well, I'm not sure peak. Probably not the time you want to peak.
Yeah.
But it has been fun. We've got a lot of nice young ladies that are working hard every day, and we're trying to get our program going in the direction that everybody can be proud of us. And certainly we did have a good first year to establish a pretty good culture and a little more exciting style of play, and we I think can build upon that this year, and looking forward to what will be a fun season this year.
Yeah, I think you said it perfectly. You came in kind of late in the process into your first year, so that affected recruiting and all that kind of stuff. But you come in, I thought you had a successful year last year. I know everybody always wants to do better, but I think you had a successful year last year, and that program is continuing to build. And this year you bring back some great players from last year, and a lot of new faces too. I want to start though with health. I know there was at least one surgery here. How's the health of the team looking as we're facing the beginning of the season?
Right, and going back just a little bit on your comment, I thought first year was good. Probably the unfortunate thing is we did have 3 very nice seniors.
Yeah.
That had some good moments and had some highlights. But going forward into this year, obviously, as you mentioned, health is always a big thing. And last year we were fortunate to not have any season-ending injuries, and we started out in June with a young lady, Bree Crittenden from Ryle High School, that ACL'd in June, had surgery early July, and she will be out for the season. And obviously, it was a tough blow, but at the same time, we feel like we've got a group that can be very competitive, and we look forward to Bree getting back on the court for us. So she's having a tremendous work ethic and meeting this challenge very well, and I think she'll have a great sophomore year next year.
Yeah, Bree started several games for you last year as a freshman, and was a key player last year, great defender as well, and so that'll hurt. But like I said, you brought in several people. You've got one girl who you're appealing eligibility. Right now she's eligible in January, but hoping that possibly you can get her before then.
It would probably be more early December that should be guaranteed eligibility, but we have got hopefully a waiver in there where we can get her eligible for first game. But Marissa Mackin, she was a first-team All-ASUN player out of North Florida, and she started her career at Temple, and she's found a good home here. Good news with her, she's got this year and next, and even if it is December before she's eligible, still a lot of games, so well over 20 games, so she can have a big impact on our team. And
she's been here. She came in second semester last year, right? Or around December, maybe.
Right. She's gotten acclimated very well, I think, to our girls, and become somewhat of a leader. Just a very high IQ basketball player that we're excited to get in. She shot over 42%. That was on a little bit of the shorter line, but still I look for her to be close to that 40% mark again. She's an amazing shooter. And with our group this year, my year, this will be my 9th year in Division I coaching, and coached Transylvania, and of course had almost a college team at Lexington Catholic when you look at that group. But I can say that this is the best shooting team that I've ever coached. We have just a plethora of very good shooters, and excited about that. And I think we'll have a good brand of basketball, but we still got to be able to guard our opponents, and we're trying to work on that daily. And I think if once we can get a better handle on the defensive end, we feel pretty good about our offensive side.
Size was a question mark coming into the offseason. You've got Emma Hacker, who's tall, but she appreciates the fact that you let her play her style of game. We talked about that with her last year. So how's the size looking? Because I know you brought in some people to help with that.
I'll be honest. You're navigating through some times right now in the transfer portal that we were hoping to pick up a 5 player in there, 1 or maybe 2. We just didn't have the success in that position, but we did pick up a young lady, Amari Walker, Antoinette Walker, who is undersized, but offensively is very gifted. She'll be offensively will be better than probably than most posts inside, just there. But defensively and rebounding will be more a concern out of that position. But we feel like offensively she'll give us a lot. Bridget Fox has had a pretty good career offensively. I think offensively we'll really have a lot of concern there. But going forward, we've gotten a commitment from very good player, a post player, and we feel like we'll take care of that position down the road. But for this year, still feel good offensively.
Yeah. And, it's interesting. You got, when I saw Antoinette Walker, my first thought was Antoine Walker, but I tried to look. I don't see any relation, right?
Right.
Okay.
No, she actually is a young lady I recruited pretty heavily at Morehead State.
Mm-hmm.
And she ended up going to Little Rock and she had an outstanding year last year, sixth girl on a Marquette team that won 24, 25 games. So this will be her first chance of, to me, I hope I'm not wrong. I have the confidence that Mari can be potentially an all-conference player. I mean, we played 2 games in the Bahamas, and they weren't Division I teams. It was composed of former Division I players and another team, their national team. But she had 28 points in the second game, 24 points in the first game, 8 rebounds, I think, in both contests. She's just old-fashioned hard worker. Got a nice, not a 3-point shooter as much as a long 2-point shooter, but she's a very efficient player.
Well, that's good to hear. It's going to be exciting to watch. Let's talk about your guards a little bit. Of course, Alice leads the team, point guard. She's a leader on the floor and off from what I can see. And then you also got Kyra Freeman, who last year I thought just got better and better as the season went on. So you got 2 girls there with experience and ability. That's gonna be pretty happy.
Yes, definitely. We will be better at point guard position just with the fact of experience.
Yeah.
And I've got a great staff, and all of our girls have improved. So that's very, very good. Alice has gotten stronger, and she has more offensive options. So you'll see even a better year out of Alice. And as you mentioned, Kara is. As the year went, she got better. I think now she's doing a better job of driving and passing. And we're excited about the point guard position. We also have a young lady who's probably going to be eligible knee-wise. She had ACL surgery, Kiana Williams, who's played the point guard position, played the national tournament with Bethune-Cookman. So obviously be another insurance type player that can give us some minutes late in the year in that point guard position.
Now, did she play with you at Morehead?
She was in my last semester there before I came here. Very talented young lady. We were real excited to have her. And last year, she'd probably been one of their top players, but ACL at the beginning of the year. And she's still recovering from that.
Ari Kirkwood, one of your more experienced players that's been here as well. She brings a tenacity on the floor. Is her mentality, does it spread throughout the team? Or is she kind of unique on the team?
No, she's, I feel like she's improved quite a bit. I mean, she's a player that has just that, as you mentioned, good energy, hard-working girl. And I think with her maturity, she's at a better place. She'll be playing a little bit more inside for us, but we're not really playing a lot of post, more of a 5-out type of offense. But she will have to get in and guard some of our opponents' post. But she's, I think, once got over maybe 700 points career. She's probably going to break that 1,000-point, when you combine the schools, and I think obviously Mackins is another young lady that we'll get to that. I think this pretty quick this year. But a young lady that we haven't mentioned is Danielle Rainey, and Danielle averaged 8 points in the SEC, which is pretty notable
good
for Florida. I think she wants the opportunity to play professionally, which is a good thing. She is really trying to work on her ability to get to the rim. She's about 5'9" or 10", very athletic young lady, but she's got a very sweet 3-point shot with her length, and she'll be a helper on our press as well. So excited to get her in this year as well.
You guys have an exhibition game coming up on Tuesday against CU Harrodsburg. I'm going to try to make it for at least some of that. And then season officially kicks off November 7th, right, against Evansville?
That is correct.
Yeah.
It gets busy from there. We play an Evansville team that got us early up at Ford Center last year, and we were trying to figure some things out. They play hard with the new coach, and I'm sure they've added some players to roster. And then you get Appy State, I think, in on that Friday. We kind of stole one from them up in Boone, North Carolina last year, and then so two home games there, and then Morehead State's going to be a Sunday evening game. So we got three games in a short period, and then get on some planes and head to.
I'll say a little bit of a road trip.
A little bit of a road trip to Ireland. The beauty, not only the awesome experience of the culture for our young ladies, it was great to get to go to the Bahamas as well, but to be able to do this trip is amazing. But we also, from an athletic or from a team standpoint, have opportunity to be on ESPNU against Marist, which I don't think that's has probably ever happened that we've been on a ESPNU game. So we're thrilled with that, and got a lot of things. We're in the MTE this year, so we get to play 31 games, which is always good. And I think things will continue to go in a positive way for us. You get
to go to Ireland, which is awesome. For me, I look at November 27th at Tennessee. Again, I grew up in Tennessee. Pat Summitt was everything I heard about growing up. That's all they ever talked about. Obviously, she's not there, but the history of that program and the history of that place and women's basketball especially. Is there anything special about playing games like that?
I've always, when it was at Morehead State, had a schedule that we were able to play Kentucky often, which I think is a good experience. But in addition to that, we went to Baylor, which they were 40. We may have played them on their 40-0 team. I can't, but they were quite a handful to play in front of a packed crowd. We played West Virginia, played Michigan State. I think it's nice to get to be in some different venues. I think we're probably going to play Tennessee 2 straight years, and I've never experienced going to Knoxville, but obviously tradition-wise, amazing, and we're definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, it'd be great. Like I told Matt Roan, I just felt like your team last year was so entertaining, so fun to watch. I absolutely love being there for those games. I do wish more people would come out, and I think as the program grows, they will. But I know it's an exciting time ahead. It's going to be a fun season again. You're continuing to build what's here, and you have a history of building programs. And I know you like being back in Madison County. And I know that what you're putting into it's going to prove out at the end to be worth every second of it. So we're excited for the season. Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for your access throughout the season, last season as well, and what's ahead this season.
Appreciate you. Thanks so much.
Not a problem at all. Greg Todd, head basketball coach of the women's EKU basketball. All right, up next is the football game. So make sure you come on out for that over at Roy Kidd Stadium, 3 o'clock kickoff. Be there for that today. They are playing North Alabama, and big game coming up there as well. So get out to the game if you can. Tune into the Sports Stove podcast every week. The episodes drop on Wednesday mornings. You can find us anywhere you find your podcast. Come out to Mad Mushroom Pizza anytime throughout the week. If you mention the Sports Stove podcast, you get $5 off your order of $20 or more. Or you can order on madmushroom.com and use the code SPORTS5 and get that same discount, $5 off, $20 or more. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Sports Stove Tailgate Show live from Mad Mushroom Pizza. Until next time, we'll see you around the Sports Stove.